Imagine being inside the Senate, hearing gunshots, people panicking, not knowing what could happen next. Then later hearing comments that sounded dismissive about what everyone inside just experienced. Of course, emotions would come out. And I think that's where Pia was coming from. I'm not saying Riza Ontiveros is a bad person or that she intended to hurt anyone. But let's be real. Sometimes when people respond too politically or too logically right away, they can come across as insensitive without meaning to. Especially when emotions are still fresh. Not everyone processes trauma the same way. Some people stay calm. Some people become angry. Some people cry. Some people try to intellectualize everything immediately. But when someone is clearly still shaken from a scary situation, the last thing they probably want to hear is a reaction that feels cold or dismissive of what they felt in that moment. That's why I actually understood Pia Cayetano. She wasn't just crying because of fear. It felt more like frustration too. Frustration that people were already debating and analyzing while others inside were still emotionally processing what happened. And honestly, people online mocking her just made it worse. Why are we acting like being emotional after gunfire is somehow dramatic? If this happened in an office, school, or mall, nobody would shame people for crying afterward. But because it's a politician, suddenly people expect them to act perfectly, composed 24 by 7. That's unrealistic. At least Pia showed a real human reaction. You could tell the incident genuinely affected her. And honestly, I would rather see someone become emotional than pretend nothing happened just to look strong online. I also think this issue got blown up because social media loves conflict. Everything immediately becomes Team Pia versus Team Risa, when the reality is probably more complicated than that. But if I'm being honest, I can understand why Pia may have felt hurt by Risa's reaction or tone during that moment. Sometimes words are not the problem, timing is. And when emotions are still raw after something traumatic, even a calm response can feel insensitive to someone who's still shaken. People should try understanding that first before attacking Pia for crying. That's all for now. Bye.